Hi everyone, I'm Liz and welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch for Flosstube episode 98. I think you have the last one, Andy.
And it goes up here.
Or do you?
Where's the other piece? Yes. Ha-ha! Where's the last ha-ha?
Hi everyone, welcome back to another Sunday Flosstube episode. I'm Liz and I'm here to talk to you about all of the stitching and sewing that I've been up to the past 2.5 weeks since I last saw you. First, I cannot believe that I'm on episode 98, which means episode 100 should be 4 weeks from now, right? 2 weeks from now is 99. 4 weeks from now would be 100. Oh my goodness, is that going to be right around Valentine's Day? Maybe I need a Valentine's Day 100 episode spectacular. I'll have to think about that. I don't have any plans. I just literally, as I said, episode 98, realized, oh my gosh, I'm almost to 100. I hope everybody has had an excellent holiday break and is, having fun going back to work. I am. Yeah, this past couple of weeks, it's weird. It was like I filmed right before Christmas. I think I filmed on the 23rd. And then, we had our Christmas Eve festivities with family and Christmas Day festivities. And then on the 27th, we went to the beach for 4 nights with our family, which was fun and a bit of a debacle. Basically, I rented through a house, like an Airbnb type company, but it wasn't Airbnb. It was a different company, and they basically had 0 customer support, and we had a lot of issues with the house, and, I won't rent from them again. But it was still great to see my sister-in-law and brother-in-law who drove down from Michigan with their 3 boys to join us, and my mother-in-law sent way too many delicious desserts, like just every kind of dessert you can think of in like what looked like an under the bed storage box, but just full of cookies and sweet treats. So we were very well fed, and we had really, really good weather for most of the days. There was one day that was rainy and stormy, but we really had excellent beach weather. It was like in the 60s, and so it was really fun to go walk on the beach and listen to the ocean out on the patio, and went to a fun little Cajun sports bar to watch football one night. And yeah, it was just a really good family time. But hotels for life, I'm not going to attempt to rent a house again. There's too much that can go wrong. But it was just so great to, hang out with my family and my nephews and my sister-in-law, my sister, my parents. And yeah, it was loud in that house too, by the way. 6 boys, 10 and under. So the chaos. Other than that, I had to go back to work on the 3rd with, I think, the rest of the world. That's been fine, work. Already thinking about like, when's the next vacation? When do we get days off? Not for forever? Okay, I'll stop looking at the calendar. Oh, I started WhipGo. Okay, I talked to you guys, I think, about it in my last Flosstube a little bit, and then I went through my WhipGo plans in my Whip Parade that I published on December 30th? No, January 1st? I can't remember. I did a Whip Parade sometime in the last week if you want to go check that out. And I talked about my plans for WhipGo. So this is my first year doing WhipGo, and I'm on track. I actually finished one of my WhipGo projects. So let's just, I guess, get into stitching. I've got a lot to share with you guys in this video. So I am going to split quilting and stitching up because I do have a quilting finish, but I also have a lot of other quilting stuff to talk about. So I'll save that for the next segment. Let's start with what I finished. First thing I finished was out of the Sewing Club book. So on my WhipGo board, let's see what numbers were called, 6 and 10. I don't have my WhipGo board up in front of me. I'll put it up here. But one of my numbers was Bit of Summer out of the Sewing Club book. And the goal was to finish because I was like halfway through it, and it's kind of a small, it's 113 by 60. So here is, let me try and show it to you without the chart. Here's what the little piece looks like. And they do have it finished as a drum. So I'm not entirely sure. I kind of thought I would do it as like a pillow or like a little small framed sampler. But since I'm not sure, I went ahead and stitched the drum top, just in case I decide to get a wild hair later and finish this as a drum. So here is my finish. I stitched mine on with all the called for stuff. So the called for fabric, 36 count Sanguine from Weeks Dye Works, and all of the called for overdyed flosses. And so that's the main piece. And then this is the little topper for the drum. And then you use just a little plain circle of linen for the bottom of the drum. So since I had all the flosses out and this little motif took about 30 minutes to stitch, I was like, let me just stitch it just in case I decide I want to do the drum later. Because the drum is really super cute. But I've only ever finished one drum and it wasn't the best. It wasn't easy. I get like annoyed at myself when I'm not good at something, which is the dumbest way to be, because if you've never done something, how are you just going to be good at it like straight away? But I am not a perfect person and I get angry at myself when I'm bad at something. But I feel like that means I should do another drum because then that'll give me some more practice. So I think I don't know. My gut right now is that I will turn this into a drum, but we will see what happens. So that is what Bit of Summer looks like. And I am so, so happy that I got my first Whip Go piece in January checked off the board. So woohoo! Okay, my second Whip Go call was Quaker Snowflakes by Hello from Liz Mathews. I have the digital chart, so I'm putting the picture up on the screen. And this was also called for to be finished. I was much less farther along on this one than the other one, so this one was a little bit daunting. And I did manage to run out of thread on Tuesday or Wednesday night, so I haven't worked on this one in a few days. I feel like if I had kept working on this one all week, I might have finished this one, but instead I switched over and finished Bit of Summer because I ran out of thread on this one. So here is where Quaker Snowflakes is at. Oh, looks so good on this blue. This isn't the called for blue. I don't have it up in front of me, so I'll put it on the screen. It's a Picture This Plus. And it's similar to what Liz stitched on, but it's a little bit different. I just had this in my stash and knew I wanted to use it when I saw her pattern, Quaker Snowflakes. So I am using an NPI. It's not the called for, it's like similar. It's just a different white that I had in my stash, but this is already a full skein in here. And so I had to order another skein of NPI, which is why I didn't just like have it laying around. I posted on Instagram when I ran out of thread, and my sister DM'd me and she's like, you literally have a unauthorized Michael's craft store in your house. Why are you out of white thread? And I was like, no, I'm not out of all white thread. I've got plenty of white thread. It's just not the exact NPI 991B. She was like, okay. So anyways, I have that on order, and I have it on order from 2 different places. I think on Monday night, I realized I was going to be running out. And so I think on Monday or Tuesday, I ordered a skein from Hobby House Needleworks, along with a couple of other things. But then it hasn't shipped. And I don't know if they're having like snow problems or weather problems up there. I don't know, but like it hadn't shipped all week. And so then Friday evening, I got on 123 Stitch, who's now based in Dallas, which is really close to Austin. And so I ordered a backup skein from 123 Stitch, hoping it will come sooner, because I do have, you know, at least 5 or 6 days, I think, of stitching left to do on this. And so I don't want to wait it till like the very end of the month. So I'm hoping one of those skeins, a floss, comes in quickly. And then of course, I'm sure I'll have a use for the other white skein at some point. But, oh, let's see. Did I mention I'm stitching this on 40 count? So 40 count with 1 strand of silk over 2 linen threads. And this one is so gorgeous, and I really want to frame this in like a really pretty white frame, I think. Just like really simple to let the fabric kind of be, you know, the star with the white thread. So that is my Quaker Snowflakes and my second Whip Go project of the year. Okay, so next up, I had a new start, and this is the one that I told you guys I was going to start on Christmas Day. It didn't end up being Christmas Day, and I got the tiniest little start on this, so don't laugh. But this is Lindy Stitch's Peppermint Candy. So cute. And the only reason I did not make a lot of progress on this is because I didn't have a color that I needed. So here, let me show you my progress, then I'll talk about it. Here is my wee little start. And you can see, I think, oh no, it's tucked behind. I stopped literally mid-stitch, but I hid the thread behind the fabric. So cute. So let's see, I'm stitching this one on 36 count chai from Seraphim Fabrics. And I am doing my own floss conversion to over-dyed flosses that I had in my stash. So basically I went through my stash, and I think Licorice Red and Persimmon from Classic Colorworks were two that she had called for, but then the rest were like Forbidden Fiber Co. or DMC, and so I just went through my stash and picked the rest. But I have not figured out a good substitute for this brown that's in the reindeer and in the goose and some other stuff. And so I'm a top right starter, and then I immediately needed it to like stitch that reindeer and was like, oh, I don't have a good brown. So basically I just need to sit in here with all my rings of floss and find a good substitute for that brown. And then I can resume stitching. But I did like want to start it, and so I did put a little bit, you know, of work into it and put a few little motifs in. It's probably, you know, maybe like 50 stitches if you count it all up. So this did get started. I just need to go find a proper reindeer brown color. Or let's see, what was the color called? Chipmunk. Forbidden Fiber Chipmunk. So I think I need to pull that DMC color and then just like, you know, use that color up against my stash and find a good brown. So anyways, that is, oh, and this chart is from Jingle Ball. So if you're looking for it, you can't get it right now. It was exclusive to the Jingle Ball, but it should, I think, be out next Christmas probably. So Lindy Stitch's Jingle Ball. Oh, and I use 1 strand of floss over 2 linen threads on 36 count fabric. I get that question a lot. 1 strand, always. Okay, and then the next up is a Satsuma Street kit called A Merry Pair. I've been working on this one kind of all Christmas season, off and on. And this is one of the ones I took with me to the beach. And this is the only one I worked on while we were at the beach. It's just a really easy project where you don't really need the best lighting, and it's all kind of like contained in a little small package. So it's really easy to work on, like when you're not in your home location. So I made some progress on Mr. and Mrs. Claus. So cute. I've pretty much finished Mr. Claus there, and got about halfway through Mrs. I just need to get her face and her hat put on. So yeah, I'll definitely have this one done to hang on the tree for next year. And I'm using everything called for. It's the 14 count perforated paper with 2 strands of floss. And since this one was a club kit, it came with this little like thread holder, and I love to use a thread like separator like this on Mill Hill or Satsuma Street kits, because sometimes they'll be like light pink, very light pink, ultra light pink. And I like to separate all those strands apart so I'm not guessing later like what color is what. I like to figure out what all my floss colors are up front and separate them so I don't stitch with the wrong color later and then have to unpick, and then I run out of kit floss, and then I've got to go find my own DMC out of my stash, and it's a whole thing. So anyways. Okay, the last thing I've been stitching on is Christmas Morning by Sue Hillis Designs, and I am working on this specific box. So it's like a circular box with a top and a band that goes around the edge of the box. And I made some pretty good progress. Okay, well, first we'll start with the unfinished piece, which is the, oh, let me cover the back side of my stitching. Nobody wants to see the back side of my stitching. Here is my little reindeer band. So this is what goes around the outside of the box. And there are 8 reindeer. So you can see I am over the halfway point on I started on that 5th reindeer, so I've got him and 3 others to do before that band is complete. So cute. And then I finished the box top. So I think last time I was about halfway done with it, but I hadn't put any back stitching in, and so I finished the stitching and got all the back stitch in. And I absolutely love it. This just reminds me so much of stitching my stockings that I did. All the detail, all the back stitching that you need to bring it to life. Actually, I'll put in a little before and after back stitching thing right here because I took photos before I finished it and after. I like purposely made myself wait to do any back stitching at all till the end of the piece, which I never do. I always kind of go like backstitch as I can, like as I finish a section. But I made myself wait so I could do before and after photos. So yeah, I think it turned out so cute. I'm stitching mine all as called for. So 32 count Vintage Country Mocha, all the called for DMC flosses. And I really feel like I'm going to keep working on this throughout the year because I would really like to do the finishing on this ahead of next, Christmas. So really it's just that reindeer band, which should not take me too terribly long. Maybe like 4 or 5 more days of stitching. It's a lot of color change, but it's really not too involved. So I think I'll keep this one out under my table, and as long as I can, I feel like inspired to keep doing Christmas stitching, then I will. Okay, let's talk about sewing. I've got a lot of sewing projects to show you, and I'm pretty sure I showed this in my last Flosstube, but I can't fully remember and I didn't go back and watch, so I'm just going to show it again. And that is my most recent project folder. So in the span of the last 2 weeks since I've been with you guys, I have published my my project folder. I should have come up with a better name. I think I called it a project folder. My project folder tutorial. And this is just kind of a folder, portfolio style project bag with vinyl on one side and fabric on this with a little magnetic closure. And I was able to get that video published, I think the day after Christmas. And it has been so crazy popular. So thank you guys for all watching it. I have seen probably 10 or 12 people tag me on Instagram who have made the bags, which is just thrilling to see. So much fun. So I'm so glad you guys have been enjoying it. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'll link it down below if you want to go check out the project folder tutorial. I have so many ideas for wanting to do some like patchwork style on the outside of these. So I will definitely be making more soon. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is my plans for quilting this year. I didn't really kind of want to do like a whip go or like a really planned out thing, but I just kind of have an idea in my head of like what I want to do, which is that I want to get 1 quilt top made per month this year. And it's not going to be like hard and fast, like it has to happen within the month, but like I'm going to start, I think, a new quilt on the 1st of every month or around there and try to get it done that month or just have a plan for getting it done in the year. So some of my projects are going to be smaller, some bigger, and I'm going to talk to you about 2 of those projects today. And so the first one is the January project I picked, which is a Valentines quilt kit that I bought from Pine Needles, Utah. And so I made a little video unboxing that quilt kit here. Okay, so this is the quilt project that I'm going to do for January. It's a Riley Blake Designs Table Runner of the Month. And I want to have this done for Valentine's Day. So let's see, the design looks like this with little envelopes and hearts. Super cute. So let's see what's inside. Oh, I love this. Super cute box. So we have all of the fabrics, and then we have a pattern for the table runner. Super cute. So it makes a 19.5 by a 55.5 inch table runner. Yeah, so the pattern they include is really nice, full color, and looks really easy to use. So I'm super excited to get this started for my January quilt project. Okay, so I literally started that, I think, on January 2nd, the night before, no, January 1st. I started on the 1st because that was my last, like, summer night, vacation night. I had to go back to work on the 3rd. And so the 1st was like my last night where I could just stay up till whenever and not care. And so I started a quilt at like 10:30 p.m. on New Year's Day. and I got it done. So here is my first quilt top finish of 2023, and it's the Valentine's table runner. I'll probably have to put a picture in because I can't hold the whole thing up on on camera. But oh my god, I am so excited to have this done. It's so cute. And I haven't decided if I'm going to quilt it on my home machine or if I'm going to take it to the long armors. I kind of want to take it to the long armor just so I can do some kind of fun swirly hearts, whatever type design on it, and not just my basic straight lines that I can do on my home machine. So yeah, we'll see. I might need to make a quilting appointment. Although it's so small, it definitely would not take me 2 hours, which is the minimum. So I'll have to come up with some other projects to take along with me. So I, make use of my time at the long arm quilters. But yeah, I'm just super pleased with how this turned out. I think the fabrics provided in the kit were super, super beautiful. They're all Riley Blake, of course, because that's who produced the kit. And then I went through my stash because I love a good, Valentine's is kind of my second favorite holiday after Christmas, and not for any reason due to love or, the Cupid stuff. It's all about the colors. It's the red and pink and the hearts. I am somebody who was perpetually single on Valentine's Day. I think my college boyfriend and I were together for a couple Valentines, but after that, I never had a Valentine until Rob. So I don't care about Valentine's Day itself. And Rob and I literally never go out and do anything. I think our very first year, we went to a live comedy show and dinner. Although his roommate came with us. I just remember that, our first Valentine's date. I think we were talking about the comedy show we wanted to go to in front of his roommate. And he's like, oh, I want to go. Can I get we all get me a ticket? And we were like, it's on Valentine's Day. Whatever. So I don't even think Rob and I have ever gone on a real Valentine's date, just the two of us. But anyways, I love red and pink. Love red and pink. And so Valentine's Day is kind of my second favorite holiday to make stuff for because I love the colors. So anyways, what I'm saying is I had a plenty of red and pink heart fabric in my stash to choose from. And so I found this really pretty fabric from Stacy Itsu. It's a Mocha print. Let's see. What is it called? It's called Be Mine by Stacy Itsu for Mocha. So pretty. So I think this is a yard, which will be plenty for the backing to my, my little table runner. So I'm really excited to get this one quilted. Hopefully sometime in the next couple of weeks so I can enjoy it throughout February. I leave Valentine's Day stuff up kind of through spring because I just love the red and pink, and I don't know. Our bed actually. So one of the things I got from my mom for Christmas was these Liberty of London sheets from J. Crew, I think. They were having a clearance on their Liberty of London stuff. At J. Crew. And so she got me some king sheets that are this beautiful pink and red floral print. And I still have the red velvet quilt, my Christmas quilt, on my bed. And so now my bed is red and pink and Valentine. I was it's my Valentine's bed. And so that'll stay my bedding for a few months for sure because I love it. I think I have a picture, so I'm sure I put it up there. That is my Valentine's quilt. Okay, let's talk about February's quilt that I want to make. It's a much bigger one. Okay, so if you watch Hello from Liz Mathews, she just posted her first Flosstube in many months. Yesterday? Or was it the day before yesterday? Go watch her new Flosstube. But if you've already watched it, you may know the next quilt I'm going to talk about, which is Starstruck 2 by Lella Boutique. And I first shared about this, I think in September, when I did a Quilts I Want to Make video. So I have already talked about this, but basically when I was deciding, okay, one quilt a month, I'm going to start it, try to finish it, we'll see how far I get, but kind of 12 quilt tops by the end of the year is the goal. I was looking at my list of quilts I have kitted up and ready to go, and Starstruck 2 is one of them, and it features Valentine's fabric, and so I was like, I'm making that in the month of February. And I knew Liz Mathews had the pattern as well because we had talked about it at Quilter Station. We were both talking about fabrics we wanted to use, and I think Kia B might have the pattern too and might join us. I know she has a lot going on, so Kia, I'm not committing you, but I know there were a few of us with this Starstruck 2 quilt pattern, and Liz and I decided February 1st, we are going to start a quilt along for anyone who wants to join in. It's very informal. It's not one where I'm going to be making a bunch of videos like my other quilt alongs, because those are free patterns. I can't share the pattern and exactly how to cut and put together all these blocks because it's not my pattern. I didn't write it. It's not a free thing. But I will definitely be sharing my updates on Flosstube, and I may make one standalone video or two. I'm not sure exactly what I'll do, but I'll definitely be posting a lot about it on Instagram and talking about it here on my Flosstube channel. So if anyone else is interested, February 1st is when we're going to start, and it's going to be, I think, hashtag Starstruck2 quilt along. So feel free to gather some supplies and jump in if you'd like. It's a pretty simple one. I think you need 2 layer cakes or 20 fat quarters. So you can kind of pick your poison on what you have in your stash or what you want to get. So let me show you the fabric I'm going to use for mine because I'm really excited about it. Actually, let me go ahead and take it out of the plastic because I haven't ever actually opened up this fabric. This is a laundry, well, let me plastic and then I'll talk. Okay, so the fabric I'm using is called Little Sweetheart by Laundry Basket Quilts. And you can see it's just a mix of really pretty pinks and reds. And so it's like very Valentine fabric, very me fabric. And this is fabric that came out like a year ago. I pre-ordered this like 6 months before it came out, and then it came out like a year ago, and I haven't done anything with it. And I absolutely love this fabric. And so I was like, I just need to find a really cool pattern. And so this fat quarter bundle, I believe, is 22 or 23 fat quarters. And so basically I need 20 of them out of this bundle for the pattern. So I've got that. And then I bought a couple extra pieces, like half yards of fabric, because since I'm using like a light fabric for the background, I might take out a couple of these lights and substitute them with extras of these pieces. So we'll see. I'll probably do a video like, or at least insert it into my next Flosstube, well, after February 1st, like when I figure out like my color placement and how I'm doing everything. So, but these are kind of the fabrics that will be used in the body of my quilt. And then for the background, I got this print from the line. So obviously I'll have to lose this fat quarter and maybe a couple other light ones so that they pop on the background. But there's actually not that much background used in the quilt. The prints are more the dominant focus. So, but anyways, this is what I got for my background. And then this is what I got for my binding. This really pretty kind of like little twill stripe. Love that. I love a stripe on a binding. And then you needed one accent color for all the kind of little triangles in the corners. And so I loved, and a border fabric that matches that accent fabric. So I got this really pretty red from the line as my accent fabric and border fabric. Super pretty. And then for backing, I got my fave giant floral from the line. So I'll open it up so you can see it, but this is the really pretty big floral from this Little Sweethearts line. And so this is what I got to use as the backing of my quilt. So I've got everything in here ready to go. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the way the pattern is written, it's basically sawtooth stars and snowballs kind of thing, if you are familiar with quilting. And with sawtooth stars, you can make them with half square triangles, or you can make them with flying geese. And I like to make them with flying geese. That's just my preference and how I've made sawtooth stars in the past. And basically with this quilt, you need 60 sawtooth stars. And so that would be 8 half square triangles per star. So that would be 60 times 8. That would be 480 half square triangles that I have to make in square. And so I don't want to do that. And so I am going to save myself a little bit of time by only having to make 240 flying geese rather than 480 half square triangles. I'll still have to make half square triangles for some of the other pieces, but I am going to switch my method over to the kind of 4 at a time flying geese method. And so that will change my cutting instructions a little bit, and it will mean I need a little bit more background fabric than the pattern calls for, but otherwise everything else stays the same. I just need some more background fabric to be able to do the 4 at a time flying geese. So I just thought I would mention that in case anybody else has looks at this pattern and is a little daunted by the amount of half square triangles you need. I mean, I'll still have to make plenty of half square triangles for this quilt because the corners of the square of the Sawtooth star blocks are all half square triangles, and there's not really a way for me to avoid that, but that's totally fine. I'm just trying to make it slightly easier on myself. So this is a big quilt. There are a lot of blocks to make. And so I am kind of working out a schedule in my mind of like what I need to do when in order to kind of have a shot to finish it in February. And so I think my first week, I haven't figured out the rest of the weeks, but there's 4 weeks in February. So I think my first week, February 1st, my goal is to get every single piece of fabric for the quilt top cut out and make all of my snowball blocks. The snowballs are super simple. They're just a square with corner, like kind of, what do they call them? Flip and sew corners, where you add squares to the corners, sew on the bias and flip them out and press them. So I think the first week my goal is to make all my snowballs and after I get all my fabric cut out. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be starting with on February 1st. If anybody wants to join in, I'll have a link below to Lala Boutique to buy the pattern if you want. They have PDF and they have paper copies. I have the PDF. And then you can see all the fabric requirements on their link. So like you'll be able to like, you know, start shopping around your stash or online for fabric. So that's February's quilt all sorted and ready to go. And I'm so excited that Liz decided that she wanted to make it too. She was like, I'm not going to finish it in February. And I was like, I doubt I'm going to finish it in February. I'm just trying to put my intention out there to like really work on it in February and see how far I can get. And maybe I'll get it done. I don't know. It's kind of a big quilt with small blocks with a lot of pieces. So like, it's probably not going to get done in February, but that's okay. I am going to work on it in February. Okay, so that's all my sewing. I just have a little bit of haul to show you. Just 2 things, I think. There might have been other stuff, but this is all I have set aside. So I think maybe I got like a NPI Floss Club pack that I forgot to bring in here, but that's okay. Y'all have seen those before. So, okay, the first thing is quilting related, and that is my Mocha Fat Quarter Bundle monthly subscription from Fat Quarter Shop that I pay for. And this is the Dwell Petite Fat Quarter Bundle by Camille Ross Kelly. So here are all the beautiful fabrics in this fat quarter bundle. I think all of these come with 12 fat quarters, and I really love this line of fabrics. So no ideas for it yet, but super pretty. Okay, so the next thing I got was entirely Stephanie Schaffner's fault. She showed this on Just Keep Stitching a couple of weeks ago, and I ordered it immediately. And that is a kit from Country Sampler, and it is called Peace on Earth by Samplers Not Forgotten. And this is so pretty. I saw her hold it up and I was like, gasp. I went off to order it immediately. And I had forgotten I ordered it. I think we got home from the beach. I got it out of the mail and I was like, oh yeah. So obviously it comes with the sampler chart. And then it comes with the linen and the floss. And look how it comes all wrapped up. So there's the linen with all the floss tucked around it. So nice and neat. It looks like they're all Weeks Dye Works. Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous colors with the piece of linen that you need to stitch it on, which, let's see, what's the linen? It doesn't say. It says a thread. Oh, it's 36 count winter woolens by Seraphim Fabrics. So perfect. And it's 243 by 222. So this is a big one. 36 count fabric, 1 strand over 2. Oh no, it says the model was stitched. Oh no, it is 1 strand. Sorry. It was written backwards. It says the model was stitched over 2 threads of linen using 1 strand of floss. So yes, that's how I stitched too. So anyways, I have this all fully kitted and this will go up in my like ready to go projects bin, but I'm not sure when it'll get started because right now I'm focusing on whips. Although I do have some new starts planned. Oh, I was going to show that to y'all in stitching. I'll show you right now instead. Okay, I have a few Valentine's things I want to stitch. One is my Valentine Tiny Town, which is up on the whip shelf, so I'll put a picture in here. And I'm about halfway done with that. I started it last year and didn't finish it before Valentine's Day, but I want to get it done this year, so that should just take a couple of days of stitching. They're real small. So I've got that I want to finish, and then I have a project bag, of course a Valentine's themed project bag, filled with other stuff that I want to start soon. And the soon is like caveated with hopefully after I finish my Quaker Snowflakes. I'm hoping that thread comes quickly this week and I can get that finished before I jump into these, but I might just start these because I don't have the thread for Quaker Snowflakes. So, but basically the two projects that I have in here are the it's called Love Tree by the Trilogy. And this chart is from 2010. So I'm not sure how readily available it is. I see these a lot at local needlework shops when I shop in person. And so I got this one at House of Stitches just a few weeks ago. So I've got this one that I really want to start. And then I have the Brenda Gervais With Thy Needle and Thread Love Notes that I've had kitted up since last year and wanted to start. And I have it kitted right now with Clay Pot, which is this really pinky linen from Lakeside Linens. It's called Clay Pot, and it's like very, very close in color to Sanguine from Weeks Dye Works. This is a 36 count, but these charts are actually called for on 40 count. I can't remember the fabric she calls for, but I do like how tiny they are, so I might switch this. I just shoved like a 40 count scrap in here because the first one I want to start is this long skinny pillow that says Be Mine right here. And so I have this like long skinny scrap that I could totally stitch that little pillow on. So yeah, and then I have all the DMC. This just calls for DMC, but I might change like the red and pinks to like overdyed colors out of my stash. So yeah, we'll play around with it. But these are the kind of Valentine things I want to be working on. So I feel good. I finished Bit of Summer. I just need to finish Quaker Snowflakes, and then I want to do some Valentine's things. If anybody else knows any really cute little small Valentine charts, like pillow sized, you know, smalls, let me know, because I've been on the hunt. I've been like looking through 123 Stitch, like all the Valentine's theme stuff. So if anyone has any cute ones to recommend, let me know. Okay, I think we've reached the end of the video. I think that's all I have to share with you guys this week. I hope everybody has, you know, had a good re-entry into the real world after hopefully having some time off. I definitely was a couch potato. What did I call myself one time? Stitching slug. I was a stitching slug for sure for the last, you know, few days of the Christmas break. And I miss it already. But yeah, feeling good to be in a new year and feeling excited about all the projects I have and all the things I want to work on. And also another goal that I don't know why I even say it out loud, because it's never gonna actually be like completely done, but like I need to get this room in order. So much stuff in here, so much that needs to go, be donated, given away, and just so much that needs to be organized. I have the largest pile of floss that needs to go back up into be organized into these floss rings. It's like when I finish a project, I just dump the floss in a pile instead of putting it back on the rings, because I'm like, I'll do it later. That's not fun. But then I end up with just like a mountain of floss that needs to be put back away. And yeah, that needs to get done at some point. My mom kindly offered, I think it was may have been over Thanksgiving or even as long ago as that, to like come help me. And so Mom, I'm gonna be probably asking you to come help me again finally, because I know we didn't do it before. Yeah, and I feel like this room, it's only 10 by 10, but it's one big room that I have to myself, and I need to make better use of it and have a place for everything in here, or get rid of stuff until I have a place for everything in here. So that's also on my list for 2023, to get a better handle on this room. But you know, that's kind of like an every year goal. Okay, I think that's all I have to share this week. Thank you guys so much for watching every week. Hello to all the new subscribers. Also, I've gotten like 1,000 new subscribers in the last couple of weeks. Thank you. I don't know where you guys came from or how you found me, but hi. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another 2 weeks. Bye.